Cool. We have a
And-
couple people checking.
And we're back. So here we go. Thanks for putting up with our technical issues. I presume the first 18 minutes were in fact recorded. I hope so. But if not, it'll go into the same spot. Well, no, I will say that my other lost interview has, it is in a recoverable position. It just hasn't been recovered yet. I have a dead MacBook over there that has an interview on its hard drive. But yeah. So speaking of, let's segue into weird taping breaks. Were there any strange taping breaks over the taping of the week?
A lot.
I hear some laughing. Okay, let's hear some stories. Now, I do want to say that sometimes we do hear these stories on live panel about taping breaks. I know John Schultz likes to tell the story from his Tournament of Champions as how he broke the buzzer. So yeah, tell us about so what happened to cause the stop tapes?
Well,
Trebek was just off his game.
Yeah, so
we
he
could say that. Yeah, so he's not back to his original self yet. So it meant that in the episode, I think I counted in one episode, he had to retake things 21 times.
Wow.
Where it was, yeah, I had a tally going.
It was the second day. There was a lot of mispronunciations. He said that I was from SDSU, and he called Gus by the wrong name.
Oh God,
Were not taped. Those were not.
That was fun.
I really hope that goes on air. That's gonna be great.
I am deeply grateful for all the times that we had to stop taping and give a break, considering I was so sick. That was the only time
Nikki
come bring me water.
Nikki was feeling horrible during our semifinal game.
They tried to delay my taping. They're like, Nikki's really, really sick. She's having trouble standing. Maybe we should wait a little while before we do this. But I just wanted to get things done so I could go home and sleep. And it was bad. It was really, really bad. I was trying to channel my energy.
What was wrong with giving you a chair?
Well, they asked me if I wanted to sit, but I didn't think I could sit while playing, so I just wanted to get it done with so I could go back to the audience and sit. And having the first game of the day did not help.
Far too early to function.
Really.
Yeah, my favorite part was when they first announced the matchups. People were like, "Oh, everyone from California doesn't have to deal with jet lag." When it was so bad for us, it was 7 in the morning, and for everyone else, it was 10 in the morning.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, I was the earliest game both days. That was not fun. Let's just say that. For sure.
Now, what was I going to ask? So yeah, it seemed like there was actually on Thursday a bit of a weird jump cut just before Final Jeopardy, before Alex announced the category. Did he screw something up there, or?
Not him, actually, that time.
Oh?
Was that Hannah's game?
Yeah, that was
our game.
On the Origin of Species.
Yeah.
They did cut out part of Hannah's interview, I remember.
Yeah, they edited my
also
interview
true.
because I casually called my entire student body children. Oops.
I mean, they are, so.
Yeah, they are.
Apparently a faux pas.
Yeah, it seemed like Thursday there was just a lot of choppy editing.
Yeah, there was.
Not only because of Alex this time, which was fun, but yeah, before Final Jeopardy, Alex stopped tape so that they could check to see whether the origin of species was correct, and then if Sarah's answer of the origin of the species was correct.
I crossed out the on in my answer because I got paranoid about whether that was right or not. It is, but I actually crossed it out because I was like, oh God, what if that's an extra word? It was fine.
I wondered about that too. I wondered because when he said on the origin of species, I was like, yeah, is there an on or is there no on? And
So they're both apparently right. Apparently, the on was the original one, but in later versions it got shortened to the.
I was just kind of appalled at the internet people who wanted us to write the full title in the box.
That was to be fair, that was kind of hilarious, and I respect them for knowing that. They're so smart and should be so happy for themselves. because
like they
they're
should
so
be on
smart.
Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Almost.
So, I guess one of the reasons why I'm glad Amanda Walker finally got her technical issues sorted out. You were on a few years ago, back when the college championship went on location every year, Amanda. So, I kind of was hoping you guys might compare notes a bit about, the the on location experience versus the in studio experience.
Right, yeah, I did. Ours was in North Carolina at NC State. So actually, yeah. I was gonna say when I saw the other eyes, I was like, NC State, I've been there. There was a guy from NC State our year too. You can imagine he got like all the cheers because we were at the RBC Center in Raleigh. So we didn't get to see the Jeopardy set until a few of us took a trip to Culver City the next year. So, but we still had I saw the video of you guys on what we call the party bus, from the hotel to the studio. It's like, so you guys still got that? And it's like, oh yes, I remember that experience very well. Maggie had black hair when I was on, so that was kind of different.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
Interesting.
It's like, oh.
I'm honestly just so glad that they had us in the studio for our filming, because when we walked in there, it was like hallowed ground. A hush went over the crowd.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
It made me realize how grateful I was to be with a group of nerds who felt the exact same way as I did.
I remember when Alex Trebek came out. And
oh yeah, when Maggie started talking to us and Alex walks out in his denim on denim.
Oh my
god.
The Canadian and the Canadian tux. It was great. Oh my gosh. I got to see, he stayed in the same hotel as us, although I'm sure is like penthouse suite of said hotel. And we saw him in the lobby, and he was wearing a windbreaker. And it was like, Alex Trebek even owns a windbreaker? What?
He owns things that aren't
for Alex Trebek.
Yeah, if that's right.
Not provided by Perry Ellis. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. So that was the experience. Got to stay in the same place as Alex Trebek, but did not have that same. I would have loved the walking out on the actual Jeopardy set. That would be really cool.
So did you guys have any categories this week where, watching the games later being like, oh, I wish that was in my quarterfinal?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anything with lit and art from other games was so sad.
Oh yeah, Bingham and I. Oh sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was just saying that my main literature was that stately lit one, and I did well on it. But when I saw it unveiled, I was devastated.
Emily, is that what you were going to talk about?
Yeah, no, Bingham and I predicted every single one of those answers.
All of them.
Literature is my best category, and geography is by far my worst. Yeah. And so I was like, what could this possibly be?
Yeah, Bingham and I literally went crazy.
Yeah, we were in the audience when stately literature came up, and when we realized what the category was, we were like, what books could come up from what states? And we called all of them.
Yeah. I think that speaks to kind of how interestingly almost gameable Jeopardy is.
Yeah.
I think people don't really realize that you can kind of see things coming from a mile away. When I saw 19th century literature, I was thinking, okay, it's either Jane Austen or Charles Darwin.
19th century books, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was. You're absolutely right. But again, I was thinking, okay, it's either Charles Darwin or Jane Austen, and it was Charles Darwin, which was interesting.
And watching the previous games air, when I was preparing, I was watching the game where the Hamilton category aired, and I could say what values were going to be where before they read the questions, and I was practicing calling what would be where before our game aired, just so I could get a general idea. And it didn't usually work, but it worked really well for Hamilton.
I wish I had the college football one, to be fair.
Oh, I was going to say, I wish I could have traded that college football category for any other category. But also, when Gloria Steinem went dead, guys, that hurt my heart. Hurt my heart.
Me. I'm so sorry.
There are a couple really good, and by really good I mean really ridiculously terrible really weird categories that came up the second week for sure.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun to watch.
You'll
I think there was like one category. I think you guys know which one I'm talking about. That just like completely went dead.
Oh yeah.
I think the writers are bored and are trying to have a lot of fun with coming up with fun names, and they just gotta fit things to those names.
Yeah.
Well, some of them weren't even fun names. They were just stupid cat
They were stupid.
I've been speculating that lately about categories. Like, are the writers just getting bored because things seem to go a little bit off the beaten path here?
Yeah.
Well, watch out for a special category in my game with Hannah and Sam.
Oh.
I think in Double Jeopardy.
It's the best one. We
I
were
think
dying in the audience. We were like, how what? It was I can't really exactly describe.
Like, who would know that?
Kind of slap going. How in God's name is anyone supposed to get these?
Yeah.
So we have a question actually on the hashtag from Ben Wiles. Do we think maybe the writers might be intentionally trolling the college football moron segment of the internet?
I would hope so, but I doubt it.
Yeah, not sure.
I think it's like, I mean, they need something to appeal to all sides of the audience. So if it's only academic, you're going to lose that viewership.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't have college...
I wouldn't call them morons. I would just say they've got to appeal to all different people.
Right.
You can't have college-themed categories without featuring at least some sports, and I would say the biggest college sport, at least, coming from the South for me, is football. I mean, some places basketball's big, but football's really big, so I think that's something you can usually...
I also find your classification of football over basketball amusing, being that you go to Northwestern.
Yeah, the only school to never, D1 school to never qualify for the NCAA tournament, despite the fact that we hosted the first one on our campus.
Mm.
Wow.
That's fun.
But go Cats.
You have to think for the people watching Jeopardy, like, they're all different kinds of nerds.
Mm-hmm.
So some people are football nerds, and some of us are, say, literature nerds and know nothing about football.
And some of us are not superhero nerds, despite the fact that everyone thinks all nerds know superheroes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really
we know all different kinds of things, and they have to appeal to all of those people who are watching, including the people who know science and the people who know basketball.
That's a really good point, yeah. Sports isn't just for non-academic people. You can be very, almost have a encyclopedic knowledge of sports.
Mm-hmm. Now, I get it. Now, in terms of having a number in mind for the wild card cutoff, did you guys come up with one beforehand? And if you did, what was your number?
I'm going to defer to Amanda on this one first because she did the most research, I think.
Yes, I did. I had all of winter break to do this, and a lot of people who are, like my grandfather and some other people who are retired and love statistics, working on this. So my number I had a whole chart going, was 15,000. Anything above 15,000 is really, you are golden. You are golden, and by my calculations originally, so like I was just, with my calculations, I was just trying to I knew I needed above 10,000. So if I had below that final Jeopardy, I had to bet it all. And no matter the category, and if I had above that, I would play differently. And I left thinking that I think it was an 84% shot of the wild card, so I left pretty confident and was then crushed when I was told that I was fourth. Especially because Trebek was like, yeah, you guys are all wild card eligible right now at the little talking part, because ours ran really long since our episode was pretty quick. So I was very confident, but my math failed me miserably.
Oh.
But if you guys want spreadsheets on it, let me know.
Would love some. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, my number was 16,000. I consulted with my high school quiz bowl coach, who had another student who was on Jeopardy, so he made all kinds of spreadsheets for her as well. So he passed those along to me and told me, 16,000, you're definitely going to be safe. If you're not, then it'll be some freakishly high year. So when I got to, what's been shocking to me is that I got to 17,600 and so I bet nothing. And everyone is asking me, wow, that was a really ballsy move. Why didn't you bet anything? And it's like, have you ever watched the college tournament? Do you not understand how wild cards work? So that's been a fun little after piece.
Wow, you guys had higher numbers than I did. I came in, I think I mostly just kind of went through like the last, I want to say like 4 college tournaments, did those numbers out, and my number was 12,000. So I don't really know kind of how I came up with it. I may or may not have been very tired while I was doing it. I don't know. But my number was 12,000 going in.
Speaking of final Jeopardy wagers, yours, Gus, was your final number homage to Keith Williams, or was it?
Okay, you know it's so funny. Yeah, so I saw his final wager video, and I was absolutely blown away because I had no idea who he was until 3 days ago. Sorry, Keith, if you're watching this. I don't know who you are. I do now. You're lovely, and I know you're rooting for me for the rest of the tournament. Oops.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, so I did not. I just liked the 5 2s in a row, and it just so happens that Keith Williams also liked 5 2s in a row.
I confess I have not watched Keith's final wager thing either. Granted, that came out after I was on, but I've been very curious about all of the wagering statistics and how seriously, I mean, the spreadsheets that are involved and the math that happens when you are under, like, the most stress of your life to make sure that you've got a handle.
Right. I just got scolded after the first night for my betting. Like, all my guests who were in the audience watching were just like, Nikki, what were you thinking? I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking. You couldn't think under those lights. Like, I can do the whole reflexive buzzing thing and answer questions, but when it comes to doing the math and trying to figure out what's my ideal bet, if I didn't have a hang on it beforehand, and even if I did, oh, not under those lights, no. It was terrible. It's like, I don't know. Like, I thought maybe I might know presidents a little bit. Let's try this.
I have no idea why I bet because I originally
That's the most interesting to me.
Yeah. And wow.
Makes sense.
Wow.
Even if you had bet more, they would still have to go to the tiebreaker, the second tiebreaker anyway. So, you just caused more stress for yourself, but it really would not have changed it.
Yeah.
You made it a lot more interesting for the viewers at home.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, yes, this is great television.
Yeah. Maggie was like, Hannah, you're in a 3-way tie. Why did you not bet everything? And I got nothing, Maggie. I'm sorry. I originally bet everything, but I don't know. I left $400 because I like the number 4.
I still regret, like, I got in as a wild card too on mine, like, and I could have won my game outright if I'd bet everything, but I was so paranoid and had not studied, like, the numbers or anything, and I was like, I just want to bet a little bit because if I lose, I want to still maybe get in, and I don't know what anybody else is going to do, and it'll really mess with your head when you're thinking along those lines, which is something that doesn't happen in the regular game in that same way.
Well, yeah, I mean, actually, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, especially, because the wild cards bring that extra layer of strategy into it. Now, another fun thing that we could have, and I'm going to preface this by going back into Jeopardy history for this one. For the This Week in Jeopardy history segment, I'm going back to 2008. This time of year back in 2008, there was a team tournament, and the final notably had Zia and a Rachel Cook and a Rachel Horn. So the famous Two Rachels final, where Rachel Cook ended up going by her band nickname of Steve. So, meaning, obviously we've got the two Emilys left in the tournament at this point. Where was there any consternation backstage about, oh no, we've cast two Emilys and they both made the semifinals?
Yeah, but I think Bingham actually prefers to be called Bingham, right?
Yeah, I do.
She actually was asking if she could just like write her name as Bingham outright, I think.
But before the quarterfinals, even I asked Maggie and some of the other contestant coordinators, like, can I just go by? Because I didn't know I could. If I had known when I filled out all my paperwork, I would have just put my last name, not my first name. But they said, oh yeah, you can go by Bingham if you refill out all your paperwork. And at that point, I thought I was going to have a heart attack anyway, so I was like, I really don't need to be filling out paperwork right now, so Emily is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, like, people, we joked about it, but I don't think it would have been an issue. I would have just gone by my last name, which would have been preferable to me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But it did make for a funny coincidence, like on the third day when Alex was like, no, we've had two Emilys of one. Would anyone like to change their name to Emily?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, and I really regret not changing my name to Emily.
Right?
Yeah.
Might have been different.
Yeah, I'm honestly just wondering how they let that through. Not to mention the two people from Bethesda and the two people from Boise.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many extra things they need to take care of. Like, Kevin and I played on the same quiz bowl team in high school.
What? Really?
Yeah, he was my inspiration for studying to become good at quiz bowl because he was 2 years older than me and, like, our second best player. And I was just this little freshman scrub who didn't know anything besides pop music. And so when he graduated, I was like, oh man, it's time to study, and, like, I've got big shoes to fill. And so then we found out that we had both gotten on through the guy who ran all of our tournaments back in Boise, and we were just like, no way. And then I was, of course, absolutely terrified because I thought, oh man, Jeopardy's going to make me wait because Kevin's a senior, this is his last time to play, like, I'm doomed, I have to wait now. And, of course, all the newspapers in the school district back in Idaho was super happy about it because they're like, look, 2 of the 15 are from Boise. They're from the Boise School District. They played Quiz Bowl together at the Treasure Valley Math and Science Center. What are the odds?
That's pretty awesome. I'm amazed that they let that through, too. But that's good to know that, like, knowing someone doesn't necessarily doom you like you think it would.
Yeah, I mean, you can't tie anymore. So they're not worried about collusion. So, which is good because the people who are going to be on Jeopardy and the people who have been on Jeopardy, et cetera, like, the community's so intertwined now, and especially with social media and everything. Like, when they had you fill out, like, who do you know that's been on Jeopardy before? My list stretched onto the back page. Like, everyone I work with, my boss. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and Nikki and I... I'm sorry?
I still think my list is longer than yours, but yeah.
Emily and I got in trouble because we had the same person on our guest list and didn't catch it till the second day.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember about
because our friend is terrible at planning and arranged to be put on both of our guest lists because he couldn't remember whose guest list he was on. And then they were just like, wait a moment. What?
They called him out. He was in the audience and Maggie called him out for it.
Who are you here to support, really?
We have a tweet on the hashtag from Aria Gerson. Her week on Kids Week, there were 2 Emmas who had both gone to the same middle school.
Oh, that's weird.
Emma's a super common name, too.
Yeah, Emily and Emma, like, there's like 5 of them in like every one of my classes since like
for 10 years. Emily was like the top girl's name. So, and we just happened to fall within that decade of people naming their kids that.
At least you did not have anyone get mad at you about how you spelled your name.
Oh, I remember that. That was weird.
Did you get backlash from some 2K Nickies?
Yeah, no. It was someone on Reddit, and they were like, I know this is unpopular, but I absolutely can't stand people who won't just spell their name Nikki, like, oh, I'm so special and unique. Like, it wasn't my choice. like, of all things to hate me for, you hate me for how I spell my name?
They hate you because they ain't you, dude.
Veronica, man.
Come on, you know that.
I'm like, I get Nikki from Veronica, which only has 1 K in it, so why would I be adding another one?
People.
So, how do you guys feel about, I guess, the college tournament and wearing, going on camera in school garb as opposed to normal Jeopardy garb?
Oh, there was one guy on Facebook who like got really mad at us about that. I remember.
A lot of girls got mad at me on Twitter about wearing what I wore. She's like, a hoodie, leggings, boots? Like, I was told to wear those 3 items. Like, I didn't have anything else. I wasn't allowed to wear jeans. But honestly, I felt a lot more comfortable competing in a sweatshirt than I would have if I had to actually find something to wear. Because I don't wear, like, business casual clothes. I have oversized sweaters and jeans.
The only thing, though, was that, like, I only had one jacket, and we needed multiple jackets for, like, multiple days. So I had to, like, spend an extra $50. And that was, like, a little bit...
That's what the per diem check is for.
Yeah, my school bought me two sweatshirts, which is really nice. But I think it's cool that you get to wear your sweatshirt because then, so like somehow, a lot of people at my university didn't know that someone from Wright State was going to be on Jeopardy. So if you randomly tune in, which a lot of people told me they did, then they're like, "Wait, that girl's wearing a Wright State hoodie," whereas otherwise they'd just be like, "That's just some random kid on Jeopardy."
Wow.
What I liked is the fact that it made me feel as close to an NCAA Division I athlete as I'll ever be.
Oh yes.
Yeah, because I lack all athletic abilities. So this is the high point. But my university was really supportive, and the athletics office gave me some free gear, which was nice.
Seriously?
Yeah, because
oh my
if you
God.
think about it, one episode is a 22-minute national ad for the school. So the school was really supportive, and I love that. I love the fact that I could be representing my school for 22 minutes nationally, which is great. And also, the one issue with sweatshirts, though, is the camera already adds 10 pounds, and a baggy sweatshirt adds more.
Yeah.
So it was also hard to find pants to go with that. But other than that, I like it. I'm glad my school's colors are purple because purple and white, like that looked okay. So it was good.
Although think about it, as girls, who knows how many like boob comments we were spared because of wearing a hoodie.
True.
Like,
Yes.
or again on Twitter, just like not an issue. Get a hoodie.
Yes, I found it funny when Jeopardy in the promo zoomed in one, like the first sizzle video, they zoomed into our shirts. So it was like, oh, okay.
We didn't even know they were filming.
We didn't even know they were filming
interviews.
They filmed interviews and like didn't use most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The parts they didn't tell us about. That was good.
I remember being grateful in general just for the not having to choose an outfit, just knowing it's like I'm gonna wear a college sweatshirt and my school gave me 2 of them and I don't need to give any more thought to it. That was kind of one less thing to think about.
Yeah, that's true.
I agree.
My school also went nuts with the whole sweatshirt thing. They're like, "How many do you want? We can get you as many as your little heart desires." So they got me 5.
5.
And that was super nice. And
Can I like have one,
all
Hannah?
the alumni and stuff are really excited about it too.
Yeah,
They're like, "Our little school."
One.
Full of children.
I think that's the moment that I realized that it was a big deal. Like, I was excited about getting on Jeopardy, but I don't think it sunk in how big of a deal it was until Berkeley gave me something for free. I was like, what? What? I was so afraid going into it. I'm like, oh no, if I don't wear it in my quarterfinal episode, are they going to tune in and see I didn't? Are they going to take it back if I don't do well?
Yes.
Oh,
I felt that way. The 2 schools, so my College of Liberal Arts bought me 2 sweatshirts, but I had, it's hilarious, my sophomore year of college, I went into one of our bookstores and I saw this sweatshirt. I'm like, that looks like the kind of sweatshirt they wear on College Jeopardy. So I bought it then, and then I'm like, well, I have to wear that one. But what if I don't make it onto the semifinals and I don't get to wear the sweatshirt that Cola bought me? Are they going to kick me out of the college? They spent all this money on me and I didn't even wear their sweatshirt?
Didn't Sam keep his tags on as well?
Yeah.
He had all the tags on.
Because he wanted to return them.
I mean,
Also,
you
the
can sell
sweatshirt.
worn on Jeopardy.
Game worn.
I don't know, like maybe that could get you a little bit of money.
Auction that off.
Yeah, but my university was really nice. They gave me a jersey for Trebek, which I wasn't allowed to give to him because of personally because of bribery issues. But it was a personalized Trebek jersey with a number 32 on it for the 32nd season. And I thought that was really funny. Kind of wanted to keep it for myself. but I thought that was a nice touch. I thought that was great at school.
Wait, so what happened to the jersey then?
Yeah, where's the jersey?
So I gave it to Karina, and she was supposed to organize it. And then so on the second day, I saw Maggie run by carrying the Trebek jersey. So I assumed that they might have been giving it to him then.
Maybe.
But I don't know. So hopefully, like, if anybody sees him out, instead of seeing him like wearing a windbreaker, they'll see him in a Wildcats jersey.
And another funny thing that happened with the sweatshirts is that since some of us have longer hair, and with names of schools being cut off, we had some funny nicknames.
That was
Steve Burkle.
Yeah, Northwestern, but that's just because
was
sweatshirts didn't fit right. They had to, the athletics office had to try to find me like kid sizes because I'm not like football player sized. So it was a lot of work to try to find one that Northwestern would fit on the screen, and it looks like I didn't do that.
Oh, I'm just going to interject with one thing here. Did you guys record a video stating your name and school? Because it seemed like, but they didn't seem to use them on when introducing the actual Wild or the actual semifinalists.
My mom was pissed.
They showed them in the taping when we were there. Like in the studio, they replayed it and they
replayed it in the studio.
I think it was just a time thing because Trebek had to spend so long talking about the wild card tie that they just didn't have time.
Yeah.
And I'll say, like, recording that for me was fun because I felt like an NFL player, you know, when their head pops up at the bottom of the screen, and it's like, football player, Northwestern University. It made me feel pretty special right there.
That's so true.
Now, did Alex talk about the thing during your interview that you wanted him to?
No. At no point in the tournament at all did he ever say anything that was what we actually wanted to talk about.
I don't think that happened for anybody, except for Amanda, I guess.
We were.
I lucked out. He picked the two that I thought he was going to, but there were some that were far less fortunate 1,800 children that attend Augustana.
Also, Sarah's interview for her semifinal was great. Basically insulted her clothing. It was good.
That'll be fun to watch.
What about Noah's interview with the Scott?
Anything that was on the card at all. It was, and then some of the things, like, he would agree right before we filmed it, he would, like, talk to us and be like, what do you want to talk about? And we'd be all together, we'd decide, we want to talk about this. And he's like, all right, we'll do it. And then he'll go off the wall. What are you actually doing here?
Yeah, I'll say with some of these, like, with the stories that I put down, a lot of mine were rejected. Something is they had to be more college-based, and as a freshman, I'd only had 10 weeks of college.
Yeah.
So I lacked a lot of good stories for that. But so a lot of the ones that I wanted to talk about, and yes, internet, I did rehearse them, were cut. But the internet was hating on me for my story being so rehearsed, but I hate it when they're not rehearsed. And also, I hate it when people don't look into the camera in those interviews. So I did. Don't hate me. I'm just a fan of making eye contact. Maybe it wasn't with Trebek, but it was with y'all at home.
I think it's make eye contact with them people at home versus Trebek, I think.
Not to mention, they did make us rehearse those at the audition and before filming. And again, if you were in the afternoon on the first week, again before that, it was ridiculous. They had us rehearse it. Like, what else are you expecting?
And for those that were hating on my That's Right, Alex, according to the internet, yes, the internet, people are told to say That's Right, Alex when they're not sure of where to go with the story. And since his prompt was different than what I was expecting, I went with That's Right, Alex. So I wasn't being disrespectful as the internet says. I was just, stalling for a second and trying to flip it to the part that I practiced. Yeah, I practiced. So, just try and make it work.
Oh, boy. Okay. I realized I haven't asked the standing question that I always ask to a live panel. What did you guys have for lunch? This is the standing question for what did you guys have for lunch at the Sony commissary?
A sandwich.
Was it turkey? Was it turkey?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Sorry, Jennifer. No, we don't have a match on the turkey sandwich. Sorry.
It wasn't
about that.
turkey because I don't like turkey.
I think I had a turkey sandwich. I'm like maybe 5% sure I had a turkey sandwich.
Those in the afternoon got their lunch brought to them.
Oh, it was great. In the green room? Oh, yeah.
But I was too nervous to eat, so it all looked amazing. And I just sat there really sad.
Yeah, I had very little to
I can
eat.
probably have like 2 bites of pasta and like a bite of meat, and if I have anything more, I will crash. And I cannot crash.
I ate a salad just because I was trying to avoid spilling anything on me because, might need to wear that sweatshirt again. Might, if they have to film anything else, if I make the wild card, I don't want to be covered in food, which probably would have happened if I didn't stick with salad. So, what with that?
Poor Abby, our alternate, is a vegan and got stuck with eggplant parmesan.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, how does it work, I guess, maybe speaking for Abby, how does it work if you're the alternate for a college tournament? Do they bring you on to a later college tournament?
Oh, I can speak to that. I can speak to that. So, I was the alternate for the last one.
Oh, really?
Okay.
One of the alternates.
I was one of the other one was Sam, the USC contestant. He was the other alternate. Yeah, so we got brought back onto this one. And I think for Abby, because she's a senior at UCLA, they're going to bring her on to an adult show.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep, that's what they told us.
Our alternate's name was Anne, and she didn't get brought back for another Jeopardy, as far as I know, which is kind of sad, and I don't know, I'm still friends with her on Facebook, so I kind of should ask, what she's up to. She should audition for the adult show, if nothing else, right?
Yeah, I think so. So the process worked for me a little bit differently, and I feel like it's probably the same thing with Sam. I actually really didn't talk to him that much about the process.
It is the same process you told me to.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we just, instead of, having to go in and do the in-person written test and the games in front of the camera, they just gave us the written test over the phone, and we would just answer them over the phone, which I honestly thought was harder than reading them. Because I like reading the clues a little bit better. I process them faster. But yeah, that was how that worked.
Okay.
That's great that you guys got both back, both of you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's actually very interesting to know.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of your final Jeopardies this week, would you guys say that they were kind of wildly different in difficulty or about equal?
Well, I was pretty. Adam, Chris, and I were all pretty salty about ours.
I'm salty about it, and I didn't even play in it.
Yeah, right?
We went to the first one, so we watched every single other one, and we were we know all of these. Almost everyone got them right except for one. I think there was one where they docked Sarah off for using an extra the or something. But
Noah.
Yeah. And so but most of the other ones were almost entirely answered, and then none of us got it right, and we were so salty just sitting there. And I remember over winter break, my friends visited the Grand Canyon, and they posted it all over Facebook, and I was just sitting there so bitter about it.
I can say about this.
I hadn't even heard the quote before, but it was so weirdly phrased that I would not have been able to recall it up there.
Yeah, I'd actually heard the quote in association with the Grand Canyon, but I'm it's not going to be the Grand Canyon. It's that's so easy. And why would they mention Teddy Roosevelt? Yosemite is a thing. You read about Yosemite, maybe it's Yosemite. So I wrote that down.
I associated it so much with Yellowstone since that's the first national park. Mm-hmm. I was sure it was going to be Yellowstone. I would have been fairly confident that not.
Yeah.
I think besides the first one, they were all pretty easy. I think ours was disproportionately easy. Literally, what's the opposite of a professional? But
the Gerald Ford one though was really nitpicky because the only way, because Noah was I swear I've read his inaugural address in a book before. I've seen it in a book.
He gave an inaugural address.
He did speak. He just specifically said it was not an inaugural address.
I was talking to Noah yesterday about it, and he was I talked to someone else, and I looked it up, and like he definitely gave one, so I'm like confused.
He gave a speech. He just said it's not an inaugural address, which I didn't know. So I was super lucky that I put down Ford because it was largely a guess. But I had no idea until there was like a write-up on our episode that actually had the quote, and then I was like, whoa, yikes.
Yeah, I deliberately put that quote in to my write-up because I looked and I thought, well, you know, because I looked at the clue of the day on the New York Times and was like, I think this is Ford. And then I looked further and then I saw his speech and it's like, oh, I guess this is why they're going with this is not an inaugural address. Okay, well, I'm going to put the quote in the recap because I figured that was that would be the best way to at least try to head off people being like, oh, let's try to tell Andy at the Jeopardy fan that the show is wrong. And one person still commented through saying, oh, well, it was an inaugural address. And I'm like, did you not read what I posted? But
people on the internet don't read things; they just say what they think.
Why read when you can give your opinion?
Yay!
Yeah.
Even if someone can obviously disprove it.
Yeah.
Right.
Want to give it.
Like the Jeopardy fan equivalent of it's on the syllabus. So did you?
Yeah.
Right.
In the recap.
so do we have any
It was
other?
actually pretty good for me in terms of Jeopardy, Final Jeopardies. Like, being British, most of the Final Jeopardies for me are like, as soon as the category comes up, I'm like, nope, not going to get that, not going to get that, not going to get that. And I don't even bother reading it because there's just no way that I can get it. This week I actually got 1.5, because technically one was like right on the tip of my tongue, the Charles Darwin one. I just couldn't like think what it was because it's like, it was just like, just thinking about it was so bad. I actually got the Grand Canyon one.
Oh, wow.
Which is like, I was like, it was that or Disneyland for me.
Yeah, close enough.
But it's like, because when I saw the question, it was like, well, the word great is in it, great as in big.
Yeah.
Big is in Grand Canyon. And I was like, well, I've got nothing
There
better
were a
to
couple
say.
comments that are like, I'm Canadian, and even I knew that. And I'm like, okay.
Because you're Canadian, you knew that.
Sorry.
Because you know less about Teddy Roosevelt.
Yes.
Actually, a good point. You know more things that it could be. It's actually a detriment.
Yeah, I was surprised because I feel like usually Final Jeopardy questions have like one like pretty solid clue that's not necessarily something that everyone knows, but then like a secondary clue that will like help you logic it out.
Right.
And I felt like with ours it wasn't really there.
No.
It was just like you had to know the quote, or like guess Grand Canyon. So that was fun for sure.
I also thought, I mean, Niagara Falls crossed my mind as well. So.
Oh, yeah. Gosh. Yeah, there's a lot of things that could be, and there wasn't a very good, the tease out metric. That wasn't really, unless like Jessica found the great. But there's a lot of things that really could be great.
Yeah.
Niagara Falls.
Not to it. Yes.
Yes. So, do I have it's about the time where I ask if any panelist has any random questions for anyone else on the panel.
Can I follow something on from like the convo we just had? Like,
Yes.
how did all the contestants like at the time feel when Alex Trebek was like, "Oh, you flew over it when you got here"?
I didn't. I drove up from San Diego, so I did not fly over. Actually, yeah, I because Grand Canyon was actually my first choice before I almost wrote it down. I'm like, it's probably not gonna be like that's too easy. And so when he like said that both of ours were wrong, I'm like, okay, it's Grand Canyon, like for sure. Yeah, I wasn't like super surprised about it.
Okay. Any other random questions? Okay. Well, in terms of the semifinals, obviously they have been announced on the website. In case you haven't heard, Monday we have 3 of our panelists, Nikki, Gus, and Emily. Man, we've got the Cal Stanford rivalry here, so that should be
in Columbia.
In Columbia, she's gonna take
more Columbia.
Yeah. Well, that'll be good. It'll be fun to watch you guys.
Yeah, I was when they announced that, so they called Gus and Nikki first, and I was like, okay, well, it's probably not gonna be me. I just hope it's not me. And of course it was. And
They
they
started with that Emily, and my heart skipped a beat. I was like, it's
they
not
did the
me.
exact same thing to me the day before, because it was the very first game. They announced the first two people. Both of them were like the two that like did amazingly at so amazing at rehearsals. And
Oh yeah,
play
I remember.
anyone but Chris and Adam. They called Chris and Adam like, okay, like one in not gonna be me. And they're like Emily, and I'm like 1 in 2 chance. The exact same thing happened the second
I was
day.
terrified.
Yeah, there were some
thing.
people cleaning up in rehearsal.
Yeah, Carissa was
amazing in rehearsal.
Yeah, Carissa was at my audition as well, and I'm like, I will play any harder.
Yikes.
I was quite amazed.
Carissa in rehearsal, I thought she was gonna take it all. Like it was terrible.
I thought she was gonna win the whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, she was doing so well right up until like the very end of that game. I was like, she is dominating this thing.
Yeah, I do think like a lot of it does depend on like what categories come up. And,
yeah, for sure.
Where they come up, that's very important, and that's largely up to chance for sure.
Okay. Tuesday, of course, we've got Emily Bingham, Hannah, and Sam. Now, any comments from you guys on what you thought when that was announced?
There's some really weird categories in this game.
Yeah.
Some categories. Hannah and I were actually at the same in-person audition in Columbus, Ohio, and I remember at the audition watching. I was like looking, scoping the room to see who might make it, and I didn't think I would. But I remember as soon as Hannah went up and played her mock game, I was like, she's terrifying, and she's definitely gonna make it because she's got everything. And she knows everything. And then there was a kid standing next to me who I actually went up in my mock game against. And I had known him from before for Quiz Bowl, and I was like, well, he's making it. They're going to choose these two cute little kids, and I'll just try to make it on the adult Jeopardy in a couple of years maybe. And then they gave me the call, and I was like, oh, cool. And I went, and I saw Hannah. I was like, knew she was going to make it, but I really don't want to play her. And then our semifinal got announced, and I was like,
I did the exact same thing. My boyfriend and I got called for the exact same audition session, and so we pretended to not know each other during it, hoping it would like help our chances. And he absolutely killed it, and like 1 or 2 other people from the audition also killed it. I was like, oh man, it's gonna be one of them. It's gonna be one of them. Like, there's no way I got through. Like,
yeah, I still don't understand how they pick us, because I feel like at my audition as well, there were so many like amazingly knowledgeable and like super charismatic people who were all like older than me. I'm like, I have no chance. And I had no idea why they would pick like certain people over other people.
I thought I blew my audition, honestly. I was called up first after they did for the mock Jeopardy, so I had no clue what to do. And so they asked me what I'm going to spend the money on. And I say, of course, school and shoes. And I get yelled at. You can't say school ever. And so I proceeded to say something that I joke about, where if I ever get funding from the university, what I would spend it on, and it would be, I would love to fund a study to figure out where socks disappear to. So that was the first thing that came out of my mouth after that, and I was like, okay, this isn't going well. And then I also wasn't prepared for the questions they were asking me. So they're asking me about the fact that I want to go into public health policy, and I'm a freshman and not able to take any of the global health classes yet. So they asked me what I think the most important issue today in global health is. And so I'm about to say what I know the most about, which is dental care in the UK. And then I decided to go with women's rights, and then women's health care, and started stepping on some controversial topics and was just trying to avoid them. And I was like, oh no, this went awfully.
I got yelled at during my mock game for buzzing in too early, like 4 times.
Yeah.
Like,
I got yelled at for, I kept saying the entire category, and I was saying like please at the end or something, and they were like,
oh yeah, don't say please. Heaven forbid you say please. Or
yeah,
Alex.
Like, Emily, you don't understand. This is 20 minutes of taping. You don't have time to say that. And I was like, I just blew my chances of making it on Jeopardy. Oh my God. And then they yelled at me about something else too. And then the kid next to me had the exact same stories as I did, and he went before me. Oh, yeah. That was so
boy.
awkward. He's like, yeah, I've been to Costa Rica. That's my fun fact. And with the money, I'd go back to Costa Rica. And they're like, wow, that was wonderful. Emily? And I was like, I've been to Costa Rica. And with the money, I would go back to Costa Rica. Apparently, it was okay.
Karina definitely told me to be happier in my audition. She's like, I'm so angry.
Oops. I had the most close-ended question, too. They were like, a lot of people use their Jeopardy money to travel. Where would you travel to? And I always think that's such a trite question that I never like answering.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I'd like go back to China, I guess, or to Europe. I've never been there. But then every single person after me, including the person standing next to me, they asked just open-ended, what would you do with the money? And I had such a great thing planned. I was like, oh, I'm going to like help out local quiz bowl teams and the quiz bowl teams I used to compete to, like try and help them get to nationals. And it was going to be great, and I was going to be really heartwarming, and then they asked me about travel. I was like, great, thanks.
They asked me about a question that I wrote down as my fun fact, where I had like a bit of a court gag order on saying something, where that's done now, but I was involved in a legal battle to save a cemetery. And so I wound up saving it, which I wasn't allowed to say at the time, and they started asking me about it, and I was just trying to avoid it, like altogether. And again, I was just trying to dodge questions like I was with the women's health thing. So I just was like really, really awkward and just making a lot of weird thinking faces during it. I'm just trying to get through.
Good audition of your thinking face. Oh, that's your thinking face.
Yeah, and Faces of Jeopardy has also found my thinking face. So.
And cut out your face and photoshopped it on various objects.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was fun, for sure. Wow.
Oh, internet.
And bringing it back from the talking about our auditions from the from Tuesday. Wednesday semi-final, we've got Ziad, Sarah, and Kate. Now, yeah, 3 wild cards in that one. Anything you guys care to say about the third semi-final?
I think for me, I was a little surprised to see the 3 wild cards together in a game.
I was a little bit salty as well.
Yeah, I was a little. I think the game with 3 of the winners in it, namely our game, we were a little bit like, okay, what about it? But I mean, it was like I remember watching that game, of course, because our game was already done, and I was actually pretty nervous because I think all 3 of them looked really polished and like really, really, really strong from whence they had come like the last week, and I was honestly kind of terrified if anyone had to go up against them. I don't remember if there was like a specific really weird category in that one. I remember the final Jeopardy question. I was like the only one in our group in the audience who didn't know it right off the bat. And I felt bad about that, but
I'm not laughing at you.
you'll live and you'll learn, I guess.
I'm going to apologise about that. We've got the remnants of your weather over here right now, so we've currently got Storm Imogen battering the West Midlands, and it's raining like hell outside, and I'm kind of glad I don't have to go out tomorrow until 5 p.m. My lecture is 5 to 6, and I'm like, what do I do with my morning?
A couple of comments on the hashtag. Aria, with a few of them. Shout out to Emily S. for having an exploding TARDIS poster.
What?
Shout out to Emily's son for having an exploding TARDIS poster.
Oh.
Yeah, shout out to you for having a thing.
I got it for $1 at Columbia Book Sale.
Nice.
Her alternate didn't get brought back either, even though he would have been eligible for the next Kids Week. And also, she was called up first for the mock game. She has a theory that they put their best candidates up first.
That makes sense to me, actually,
It makes
because
sense to me too.
at the end of our audition, we were running out of time, and it might have been that I was up there like first, like just the feelings that it felt longer, but I thought ours was longer. And then I was with a uniform cadet, and then in the next round, there was another uniform cadet, which I always think looks great on TV. So I thought, like, like that'll be good. And then at the end, there were some kind of creepy people. going. I told you guys some stories in the green room.
Yes, we did a lot of those. It was great.
I remember thinking that the in-person test was really easy, and I think I got like 46 or something on it out of 50.
It was very easy.
And then I remember
think they make it
talking to the
easier
Twitter
intentionally, so that just to make sure you didn't cheat.
Questions, yeah. And then like the people who I was up with, also I talked to them later, and they're like, yeah, we only missed like 5 or 6 on this thing.
I actually
And then it seemed like they cared less about correcting your mannerisms as the end of the interview as the end of the session approached. Like the last few groups, like Glenn stopped correcting their buzzing and stopped telling them to speak louder or finesse their stories.
I don't know, because I was in like the third to last group. I was definitely in like the bottom. I was in like the sort of like the end half of it.
You're the dark horse.
Yeah, no, but like I also
They called all the people before you and they all couldn't come.
I also like I don't know if they order it based on I don't know if they order it based on scores, because I was talking to some people who went before me and they were all like, yeah, it was super easy. I thought it was super easy, and I'm like, oh, like I don't know. I don't think I did as well as the last time. And then I asked them what scores they think they got. They're like, I think I got like 35, and I was like 35. I was like, okay, I don't think I did that. I probably got like 45 or 46. So I don't know if they order it that way, because I definitely did not. I don't know. They seem to be mixed up in my audition, I think.
Well,
I think you're making a lot of people nervous about where they got called in the in their latest audition. David Kendall tweets in that he was called for he was 2/3 of the way through his audition for his mock game, and yours truly was in the final group. My last audition.
This is all conjecture. We do not speak
all
Jeopardy.
conjecture.
Yeah, one of the contestant coordinators overheard us discussing like how early in the audition we had gone and was like, "Don't worry, we don't organize things at all. Like you're just assigned to mock games. They don't organize it by score."
But maybe that's what they're supposed to say.
Yeah.
Because we also have the number 1 and 2 seeds in the same semifinal game.
Oh, right. That's a whole thing in itself.
When they called you, I'm like, okay, like, there's probably gonna be like a wild card or something. Like, not gonna be me, because I'm gonna like lose against them for sure. Like, no way. And of course, like, that happened.
I mean, I guess maybe they wanted to make sure that a wild card would make it through to finals.
At the same time, I do feel like a lot of like. I feel like a lot of us are of the same level. Like as Gus was saying, like during the wild card game, like they were all so amazing.
Yeah,
they played so amazing. Like, I think like the winners, like not all of it, but a lot of it does come down to like what categories you picked, like you know, like where on the board you are, things like that. I don't think. Like I feel like everyone was like equally strong in many cases.
Yeah, I think they wouldn't intentionally distribute 3 in one game or 3 wild cards in one game. You think that it really must be random, like.
Yeah. At the same time, we did have a lot of like limiting factors, like the Emilys, people knowing each other, things like that. I
couldn't play Sam.
Yeah.
Because we knew each other before.
You couldn't play with people that you already played before.
Right.
That's true.
There are probably only a few configurations.
And the big game.
Well, of course, and the fact that we're rivals, right?
True. Okay. Well, any other random questions at this point? Because I will say I did promise someone on this panel that we'd be done 10 minutes ago. So sorry about that.
There were some difficulties. There were some issues.
Yeah, we ran into a lot of different times.
Okay.
I'm really glad it wasn't just me.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we managed to get through the technical issues. Thank you all for coming on to the panel. I want to do another one of these after next week's games, once we can do the semifinal, or once we can talk about the semifinals and the finals. So, yeah, hopefully some of you will be able to come back for that. Or if you're tuning in, hopefully you're able to tune in next time. But thank you all for tuning in and taking part in this week's Jeopardy live panel. Let's see if the credits will work the way I want them to. Yes, yay, they come up. So thank you guys for taking part and tuning in to Jeopardy live panel. I will see you in either 6 or 7 days. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Or if you're a Downton Abbey fan, enjoy Downton Abbey. So thank you guys. Have a great afternoon and evening.